that to dovetail into Fernando Mendoza. We just saw some highlights of Mendoza, his first snaps with the Raiders. I don't know. I'm on an island, Ben. I would start Mendoza from week 1. I know everybody's, well, what's the rush? He's going to have time. Put Kirk Cousins in there. The schedule is kind of tough, weeks 2 through 5. Where are you, Ben, on the Cousins Mendoza stuff? This is not some one-and-done guy who started 1 year. He's got multiple years of starting at Cal and Indiana. To me, he looks ready as ever to be an NFL quarterback.
So we see it all the time with, quarterbacks who are drafted high. The team said they have a veteran on the roster. The team says we're going to be patient. We don't want to start him right away. And they all start right away. If not in week 1, by like week 5, 95% of these quarterbacks are starting. We see it all the time. And honestly, I think you're better off just going with week 1. Forget about the schedule looks hard. This or that. You never know. I mean, the Patriots made the Super Bowl last year, and week 1 they got crushed by the Raiders at home. So you never know about week 1. And like we saw it with the Patriots a couple years ago, they put Drake May in an awkward spot. They were serious about bringing him along slowly as the number 3 pick. And they had Jacoby Brissett as their veteran leader, and they had Brissett, being the guy leading the team through the offseason and then through week 1. But then it's like, oh, well, Drake, we also want you to kind of be the leader too. And Drake wasn't quite sure how to embrace his role. Jacoby Brissett wasn't quite sure how to embrace his. The locker room wasn't sure who to get behind. And, Drake May eventually started, I think, week 5, maybe week 6 at the latest. And, basically September was kind of just wasting everyone's time, because we knew where this thing was headed. And so the Raiders, as long as Fernando Mendoza shows an aptitude for, shows that he can handle it, what's the point of starting Kirk Cousins for a few games?
Yeah, silly me. All right. The fact that you brought up the Patriots as an example is actually perfect because it undercuts your entire argument. The Patriots were a disaster, dysfunctional, non-functional, had to fire their coaching staff, and their roster was terrible. That wasn't the Josh McDaniels Patriots of old. That team was dysfunctional by every definition. They brought in Jacoby Brissett because he was a veteran, and they couldn't do anything with him. Then look what Brissett did with the Cardinals. He actually looked functional and had some great games. That only highlights how dysfunctional that Patriots team truly was. The Las Vegas Raiders are a functional team right now. I understand people think because they were dysfunctional in years past, but they are functional now. So this is a different situation. Starting a veteran quarterback is not wasting everyone's time. Having Drake May, even though that year was a mess for them, not have to start from day 1 is not a waste. There's still room for him to learn and grow. And again, that was a really messy season for Drake May. Year 1, nobody was going into year 2 super high on him. It wasn't like, oh yes, Drake May showed us so much. That was not the case at all. Before I go any further, please, Las Vegas Raiders fans, don't forget to subscribe and watch the full video. When you do that, views go through the roof, subscribers go through the roof. It's not about chasing either. It's about being able to create Raiders content that people genuinely want to watch and discuss, so we can keep having the most unbiased, grounded, honest conversations about this team. It makes a huge difference, and I greatly appreciate it. But the whole wasting time thing, I'll be honest, it triggered me. Saying it's wasting everyone's time is just absurd. Look at all these other situations we're talking about. Jacoby Brissett and the dysfunctional Patriots. Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix with the dysfunctional Falcons, a team where Cousins just came back from injury, got injured again, and the entire coaching staff was fired. By definition, a dysfunctional franchise. Would it have been smart to start J.J. McCarthy instead of Sam Darnold for the Vikings? No. The problem is that when you look at so many of these other teams where it all goes wrong, there's dysfunction everywhere. The roster is a mess, the coaching staff is a mess. The Raiders have done everything in their power to make sure their team is not a mess. That's not the situation they're in. The last 2 teams that were able to do this, that weren't a mess, for different reasons, were Alex Smith and Aaron Rodgers with the Packers. But even those are very specific situations. Rodgers had been the quarterback for years, a Super Bowl winner. So those are imperfect examples. But they show that it's not a waste of time. What about the Rams and Ty Simpson? No pressure there. Again, imperfect examples. But the things Kirk Cousins can tiak. Mendoza, the list is massive. The things Jacoby Brissett was going to teach Drake May, with a coach and play caller who are no longer there, that list is quite short. So the comparison is silly. It undercuts the argument you're trying to make. It's funny because J-Mac said the other day, I think all the fans want Mendoza to start, and now he says, I'm on an island. I'm one of the people who said Mendoza. So he now knows he doesn't have the prevailing opinion. You can disagree. You can say Mendoza should start over Kirk Cousins. But painting it as a waste of time, that irks me so much. That downplays the time it takes to develop experience. No. No, no, no. These other teams who tried to do things like this had no intention, no plan. It was a mess, coaches on their way out, coaches trying to save their jobs. Russell Wilson with the Giants. If Kirk Cousins lays absolute eggs and is just bad week 1, 2, 3, 4, then sure, you're not going to keep throwing him out there. But if Mendoza still has plenty to work on and Cousins is playing at a comfortable level, and like I just talked about in my other video, all the stuff that needs to happen with the offensive line, the rebuilding of the offense as a whole, having Cousins out there to help operate, to put people in the right positions at the right time, being an extension of Clint Kubiak. It's not just individual quarterback play. It's not just Cousins' ability to read a defense and adjust pre-snap. It's also helping everyone else on offense. That's not what Brissett was doing for the Patriots. That's not what Russell Wilson was doing for the Giants. That's not what was happening with Rodgers or Alex Smith either. That is what's happening with the Raiders right now. That matters tremendously. So it's not a waste of time, even if he goes out there for the first 3 or 4 weeks and they have to switch. I think at the very least, the silver lining to all this is that we're talking about the Raiders, and there's actually a legitimate conversation to have. It's certainly better than being irrelevant. Even though we keep having the same conversation over and over, even the Max Crosby drama and chaos, it's fun just to be here to talk about the Raiders, talk about the potential. There are actual possibilities, actual options. We can go this path or that path. It actually seems like it matters. Like you're actually trying to get somewhere. That's pretty cool because I honestly can't remember the last time you felt that way about the Raiders. So even though things are quite circular right now, at least it's something. And something is better than nothing. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about the Raiders? Not even who should start, we've answered that. I know the Raiders fan base very much wants Kirk Cousins to start and doesn't feel rushed to get Mendoza out there. But I am curious, do you think it has the potential to waste time? That the locker room could be confused? If the locker room is confused, that's squarely on Clint Kubiak's shoulders, that's a coaching issue. Just tell me your thoughts. I read every single comment. Whether you agree with me or disagree, let's get into discussions, get into fights, but ultimately let's just have some fun. Please consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love seeing you be part of it. I want to build something we all feel connected to, something we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, it really helps with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.